Hey there, fellow hockey fans. The hardcore puckhead is here. Wow, what a night in the NHL. 4 playoff spots are clinched. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine it? You get a playoff spot. And 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 you... Oh wait, you're from Vancouver. No, I'm sorry. You won't be getting any playoff spots for at least the next 5 years. But in all seriousness, 4 teams clinch spots in the Stanley Cup Playoffs. Let's go do this in order. And this was and all it took was 2 games for those 4 spots to be clinched. First off, the skid is over. It's over. The Edmonton Oilers defeated the Kings 2-1 in regulation, putting them in the playoffs and also putting the Ducks and the Sharks, who had games in progress during this win, in the playoffs as well. I'm gonna lay out some trivia for you. June 19, 2006. The Edmonton Oilers lost to the Carolina Hurricanes 3-1 in the Stanley Cup Final. They had not played another playoff game since then until 2 weeks from now. Their drought was the longest current playoff drought in the NHL, and only the 4th longest in professional sports, behind the NBA's Minnesota Timberwolves, Major League Baseball Seattle Mariners, and the NFL's Buffalo Bills, who have the longest drought. They have not made the playoffs since '99. But yeah, so the Oilers won their way into the Stanley Cup playoffs. They're the first Canadian team to clinch a spot in the playoffs this season, and more are going to come. A few more are going to come. Of course, the Ducks needed 1 more point to get in. The Ducks needed 1 more point to get in. So even if Edmonton had lost, even if Edmonton had beaten, the Kings in overtime, the Ducks still would have been in. The Ducks at the time were handily defeating the aforementioned Vancouver Canucks, and the Ducks won that game 4-1. The Sharks were in the midst of a game against the New York Rangers, and they were ahead 3-2 entering the third period. They actually had a 3-1 lead, but the Rangers scored late in the second frame. But nonetheless, those 3 Pacific Division teams are in the playoffs, and that leaves 5. That means 5 spots are in the West, 3 more to go. More on those a bit later. The 4th team to clinch was the aforementioned Rangers. As I said, the Rangers came back from a 3-1 deficit and took the lead 4-3. But the Sharks tied it with 2:15 left in regulation. But that still didn't matter, because all the Rangers needed was 1 point tonight to get in the playoffs. And when time ran out, it was still tied at 4. They made it to overtime. They got the point they needed, so the Rangers are in the 2017 Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Rangers ended up losing the game 5-4, but still they got the 1 point they needed. So 4 spots are in the East, and they're all in the Metropolitan. Nobody in the Atlantic has clinched yet. And the Pacific Division is still tight. 2 points separate the 3 teams who clinched playoff spots. The Ducks lead by 2 points over San Jose and Edmonton. San Jose is the second place team due to a higher row, 41-38 over Edmonton. As I said, 5 spots are in the West, 4 in the East, a total of 9, 7 more to go. The playoff, as always, at the end of March, the playoff field. It's stack it up, but there's still a lot to decide, and some of it could get decided tomorrow, on Wednesday, because there's 4 games. There's 4 games on Wednesday, and there's 3 spots left in the West. two of them can be clinched tomorrow night. The struggling Kings, who are in the center of this whole thing, the struggling Kings play against the Calgary Flames on the road as the second half of the Alberta double dip. If Calgary beats them, they're in the playoffs. If Calgary beats them in regulation and St. Louis just goes overtime, the Flames and the Blues are in the playoffs. And Nashville plays tomorrow, and all that happens, and Nashville at least gets to overtime, most likely wins. They'll be in. So the Canes could be eliminated by Thursday. Won't that be a shame? And I have to mention this. It's not a clinching, but the NHL saw a playoff drop end and a playoff streak come to an end as well. The Red Wings were officially eliminated from postseason contention tonight, ending their long playoff streak, 25 straight postseasons. And as the guy wearing this logo on this cap, it makes me smile that the Red Wings aren't in the playoffs. But as an overall hockey fan, it's pretty strange to see Stanley Cup playoffs and not see the Detroit Red Wings. I have to say that. But anyway. So yeah, congratulations to those four teams. Ducks, Sharks, Oilers, Rangers are all officially playoff bound. And two more teams could join them tomorrow. So maybe I'll be back tomorrow to congratulate at least one of those teams. You never know. So until then, fellow hockey fans, enjoy the rest of this season.